cause I'm new and it's truth. Had to change my ways and the things that I do. The world start tripping when you start wearing fringes. Your friends go missing and your fam won't listen. They say that I changed cause I'm doing things different. Instead of following the pastor, prefer to follow scriptures. Tired of being attentive to opinions. If you insert into the word, you are sinning. Telling me how this world works with no chapter or verse. I done did bad, I ain't trying to do worse. But sir, you can do whatever you like. I prefer to follow these books and wait on Christ. And it's a battle each day. Gotta read his word and do what it say. Make sure I don't sin. Matthew 24:13 and do it to the end. I pray that my family's great. Be in one accord with his word one day. Until you come back to this place, I'm gonna spread your word and do it and wait. 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 Yeah. And I ain't doing things my way. I'ma wait like a line on Black Friday, or like a cashier when it's closing time, or like the last day in the voting line. Technology's so advanced, but we so behind. Closed off to people with an open mind. I can read red letter and they say I'm blind. I know it's bad, but at times I get tired of trying. I be trying to force them to see. In reality, just the past year they was me. But the best way to help them understand it, seeing my actions, following these commandments. It's a battle each day. Gotta read his word and do what it say. Make sure I don't sin. Matthew 24:13 and do it to the end. I pray that my family's great. Be in one accord with his word one day. Until you come back to this place, I'm gonna spread your word and do it and wait. 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 Do it and wait.
I might speak that slang, but got that word. I can still pull up where I served in. They watching my moves, they observing. Steam my brother, it's whatever for you. I'ma serve. What you need? I might speak that slang, but got that word. I can still pull up where I served in. They watching my moves, they observing. Steam my brother, it's whatever for you. I'ma serve. I'm standing right here, you can crucify me. I'll forever be a voice for the voiceless. Hang with the Lord, you can get on. Ask my haters who they put on. Do this for the Lord, we don't put on. And we lay down the blueprint, and we following the red band. For the blue letter, re-reference. No blood or Crips, y'all brothers repent. You know the vibes when we bump shows. No, we going up, but don't speak on. Know what I'm on in real time. And we too lit for lies. The box say living lies. Don't need your criticize. Never met him one time, but my name in his mind. Why most I gotta remind to stop the COVID, they wild. I might speak that slang, but got that word. I can still pull up where I served in. They watching my moves, they observe. Esteem my brother, it's whatever for you. I'ma serve. I might speak that slang, but got that word. I can still pull up where I served in. They watching my moves, they observe. Esteem my brother, it's whatever for you. I'ma serve.
read that, stay in the book. When I leave home, I stay in the book. When my spirit low, I stay in the book. When I need more, I stay in the book. When I need I stay in the book. When I need to grow, I stay in the book. When I feel low, I stay in the book. I stay in the book. I stay in the book. Quote that, read that, stay in the book. When I leave home, I stay in the book. When my spirit low, I stay in the book. When I need more, I stay in the book. When I need I stay in the book. When I need to grow, I stay in the book. When I feel low, I stay in the book. I stay in the book. I stay in the book. Y'all rock the body. How so much power coming out my body. I can turn water to the potent iron. Wish we had this when they smoked the Mayans. Quote that, read that, folks is lying. They never gon' teach rules written by them. They know the outcome don't provoke the lion. It's potent, so focus and don't deny it. I just take a hit and I'm choking by it. The Lord God smoke for the Goyim tyrants. They gon' get hit when your boy inspired. The Lord made vengeance with the words of Kayim. They live by the sword, so they dying by it. And I speak the word with the sword of fire. We above the birds, we are ordered higher. The border deserve the fire. Like, quote that, read that, stay in the book. When I leave home, I stay in the book. When my spirit low, I stay in the book. When I need more, I stay in the book. When I need I stay in the book. When I need to grow, I stay in the book. When I feel low, I stay in the book. I stay in the book. I stay in the book. Quote that, read that, stay in the book. When I leave home, I stay in the book. When my spirit low, I stay in the book. When I need more, I stay in the book. When I need I stay in the book. When I need to grow, I stay in the book. When I feel low, I stay in the book. I stay in the book. I stay in the book. Yabaraka Yadi, feel the spirit moving through my soul and body. Everything I touch turn to gold and probably. If I stay in the spirit, I behold the godly. People learn to God when they strolling by me. Get a hold of God when I'm holding Bobley. Wrapped in a word like it's Cole and Mari. Cause I stay in this place like Cole and Tommy. Bold in the face of the Roman century. Molding my sons to be my own infantry. Protecting my wife when I hold her gently. Teaching my daughter how to know a mission. But sometimes I slip. And I lose my grip. And I lose my wisdom. So that's why I do this. I quote that, read that, stay in the book. When I leave home, I stay in the book. When my spirit low, I stay in the book. When I need more, I stay in the book. When I need I stay in the book. When I need to grow, I stay in the book. When I feel low, I stay in the book. I stay in the book. I stay in the book. Quote that, read that, stay in the book. When I leave home, I stay in the book. When my spirit low, I stay in the book. When I need more, I stay in the book. When I need I stay in the book. When I need to grow, I stay in the book. When I feel low, I stay in the book. I stay in the book. I stay in the book.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. It's your brother Zebulon from Anointed House of Saints, bringing you the verse of the day. So I'm going to take you to Jeremiah 6:16, and it reads, Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways, and seek, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Okay, let's not get caught out there not walking therein. Let's pray for the old paths. Let's strive to walk in the good way and walk therein, because it is rest for our souls. So I want to leave you with that, Israel. Shalom.
AHOS.
It's your brother Captain Judah with Anointed House of Saints. Is the verse of the day. This Deuteronomy 17:14 and 15. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. So, y'all voted, the election is over, but the question is, should Israelites be voting? The answer is no. The Bible says that the Lord shall choose the king that's over you, and it should be amongst your brethren and not a stranger. So, should Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans be voting? La. Shalom.
AHOS.
Shalom, this is Officer Benyamin of AHOS, here to bring you another verse of the day. And the verse comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 25 and 26. And it reads, Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body what ye shall put on. Is not life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? This is what we have to remember. We are better than the animals and the beasts that have been made. But the animals here, they do not want. They have everything that they need. Remember these things. Shalom.
AHOS.
That brother Jonathan got bars, man. He got bars. But he always making slow music, man. Wanna pray to his music and meditate. He can't get hype, man. Sometimes I wanna get hype for the Lord. Come on, man.
Blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post. Blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, keeping them close. Man, we got fringes and seats on the clothes. Me and my brothers ain't sleeping, we reading the secrets. The deepest you've been is the ocean. Now we been swimming in waters that's deeper than rivers. The Jordan, we creeping up on them. It's the 14th of the month. Bone Thugs one day late for the show. Oh. Ain't never been out, ever since Red Pen Pals. You too late, you let 'em in now. We like veterans, because that's power. These secrets only come through steady, no regrets. We walk through water like Jesus. We raising the dead, you see this. Look at this evening pose. Blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post.
We holding post, chopping the doctrines, they ain't coming close. They had the three strikes like I'm Warner Franco. We're Rochelle toast, wisdom is better than silver and gold. This water is knocking down wicked Pharaoh. Can't swim through the sea, man, that fan was too slow. Pharaoh was sober-minded, think he can and go. Escape on a starry night, Victor Van Gogh. Living good unchained like Quincy Django. Shoppers down in the hood, now they wanna tango. Death angels coming close, so watch your back, bro. Watch your back, bro. We grilling that lamb, we gon' eat that. That bread, bitter herb, we gon' eat that. Doing this till you how I come and see that. We that. Oh.
Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post. The Pesach and Nissan. We found faith in Misraim. We got to be strong. Walking through water, pray we don't sink. Strapped up, boots tight. Walking up right, boy, we don't lean. 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 Walking up right, we see that. Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post.
Shalom, 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 everyone. Shalom, family. Shalom to everybody in the building. Hey, as you come in the building, please like, share, subscribe, and welcome back to another Milk Mondays. I am Officer Knock, and I'm with, as always,
hey, the aristocrat,
Captain All Your All.
Shalom.
We are the Anointed House of Saints. This is our Milk Mondays class, and I hope everyone has come prepared because we have a special class as always tonight. The title of tonight's class is You've Watched for a Nation that cannot save you. Of course, this is referencing Lamentations 4:17. We're going to get into it, right? Before we get that, and before Captain goes ahead with his class, I want to make a few announcements. As you know, we try to stay up with the feast days and the holy days. And I'm going to pull up the calendar because we have some events coming up. All right. So the next event, or I should say the next new moon that will be coming up, of course, will be the 9th month. That will be on December 1st. So those who want to be gathering for new moon, I know that they will be meeting in North Carolina at the school and also at the respective camps in other states. But just know that the new moon will have our new moon class will be taking place on December 1st. Also coming up is the Feast of Dedication, which will be taking place on December 26th. We will be gathering in North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, at the school on December 26th. Those who want to attend, please let us know. Send us an email at anointedhos@gmail.com. Let us know that you will be attending. We would love to have you there. So those are the most recent feast day and new moons that are coming up for the Anointed House of Saints. Also, any brothers who are wanting to put their brick in and do the work with Anointed House of Saints, you can do so by sending us your interest through email at anointedhos@gmail.com. Make sure in the subject line that you put prospect phase, so we'll know that you are interested in that, and we can get that information.
We are going to start that up soon. I'm gonna start that up soon.
And that'll be
working off things. That's why we ain't started yet. But
con. So any brothers interested in that, please send us an email, put in the subject line prospect phase, and we'll get that information to you when we get that started. All right. Also, as you know, we are a Hebrew Israelite school. These Milk Monday lessons are for edification for the congregation and for your families, for the nation of Israel. So please, when you come to class, be prepared. Have your Bible, right? Have your Bible, your Apocrypha. You have your notebooks. You got your markers. I do this every time, y'all, because sometimes we have to repeat ourselves with Israel. We got to be told things more than once to remind ourselves to even study, right? So just know that. Take notes. Ask questions. You can ask questions in the chat. We will try and highlight that for you. And if Captain or I have an opportunity to answer the questions, we will definitely do that for you. Let's see. Is there anything else? You know what? I was going to go through shout outs, but I might just do that at the end of class because it's already about it's 9:30. So let's go ahead and get class started. Captain, you got anything else before we get started that you want to bring out?
Nah, hit the like button when you come in the building, Baba Kasha.
That's right.
Yeah, this is gonna be a short lesson today. It's not gonna be too long, but I want to show you guys some things, right? I've been telling y'all about Kamala Harris the last couple of however long on the internet, Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. Those of y'all that follow me, but I never made anything as far as a poster, a class on there, because I wanted to see how Israel was gonna react to the election, and I actually saw a lot more Israelites voted than I thought was going to vote, right? It was a whole lot of y'all niggas that voted, right, for Kamala. So it just struck me to want to do a class. So that's what I decided to do, right? And it's a video. Put a 7 in the chat real quick before I let Knock continue. If you saw the interview with Judge Joe Brown, 4-hour-long interview with Judge Joe, right? Put a 7 in the chat because we are going to dissect a little bit of that interview today. And I'm going to prove that he wasn't lying about a lot of this stuff because you can verify. So go ahead. I don't have anything to say. I'm ready for class. Whenever you want to get started, we can go ahead and get going. Hold on just a second. Hold on.
I mean, I can, I'm going to say something real quick. And I don't want to get on our sisters, but because Kamala is a woman of color, I believe that had a lot to do with a lot of our. I think it was the statistic that I checked. I believe it was like 90% of African American women voted for Kamala Harris. That's a huge number. That's a very large number. So I just think that I think Kevin's going to go over some of that. Of what I'm trying to go into, but Our women need to understand, and our men, you know what I'm saying, that we've been watching for a nation that can't save us. Kamala is not us, right? You know, Joe Biden is not us, right? So, but
What'd you call her though, not?
What'd you say?
You called her a woman of color?
I called her a woman of color, but she's not us.
Is she a woman of color?
I mean, what do you mean by that? Her skin color is that of a light-skinned sister.
To me, she looks like Hallie from MSNBC. Hold on. Hallie Jackson, right?
Hallie Jackson.
Hold up a second, my nigga. Wait a minute. Wait. Y'all see this picture, right? You see that knot?
Got.
All right. Tell me she don't look like this lady right here. You don't see it?
I mean, I see it.
Okay. All right, good. Hallie Jackson's last name is Jackson, but she's not Jake, guys.
All right.
Not at all. So look, this is the first article that I showed you guys. And what's crazy is the first time Irish Times did this was like 2019, and Priest Daniela's wife actually did an article on it. She did a whole video on Kamala not being Jake, right? Actually being a white woman. And then Irish Times, you know, did an article on it. And then New York Times had an interview, had their own separate interview with Donald. Donald, not Donald Trump, but Donald Harris, right? Her father. Okay. Her daddy's the Donald as well, right? So this the thing. Homegirl Kamala, according to an interview with her father, is a descendant of an Irish slave owner, right? In Jamaica. And Judge Joe Brown is gonna shed some light on this story here, right? I've explained it before, you know, I've tried to bring it up. There's obviously newspaper articles that you can read on it, right? And for some reason, black women in America don't like to do research. They like to believe what MSNBC and CNN tell them and think that that's research, right? And when people go or say things contrary to what they heard on the TV, they take it as you didn't do any research. But the fact of the matter is, the research wasn't done by a lot of them, right? They were fooled into thinking that a black woman was actually running for president because they passed her as a black woman. But she'd never been a black woman before this year, even in the things that she was doing, right? Even at Howard. Feel me? She was black on her way in the door at Howard, right? But as far as actually professing to be black the entire way through, she didn't do that. She got to use the affirmative action codes and bills and stuff like that to get into college, basically, right? Because she didn't have good enough grades to be able to make it in on scholarship. Once she got in to the DA's office through Willie Brown, her ex-boyfriend, right? Which will prove all of this stuff. She basically puts herself in a position where she's able to fund different things through sleeping with different people and making different, you know, transactions and business deals and stuff like that. And that basically gets her to the top, right? And her time at Howard was basically spent making connections that she could use to, you know, get to the places she was trying to get to, so to speak, right? What Judge Joe Brown's going to call the casting couch, which if you're grown, you might possibly know what that is. If you don't, I'm not going to explain it. You got Google. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. But I want to read this a little bit. So Hamilton Brown, that's her great-grandfather's name, right? He's from Co-Antrim, and he was paid the equivalent of 11 million euros in compensation by the British government to free his slaves after the ban, right? So 11 million euros in the 1800s, ladies and gentlemen, is a whole lot of money, right? One of the things that they told us about Kamala was that she was born middle class. Her mom, right, was a middle class woman. didn't make a lot of money, struggled to get by in California, this, that, and the third, right? Well, a little bit of research will tell you that Kamala didn't even go to school in America. K through 12, she went to school in Canada. Her mom worked for a certain MK Ultra lab in Canada and was in charge of the monkeys there, right? She was a scientist, a biochemist or something like that. Her father was an economist and then switched to being a lawyer because I guess he wasn't too good at it and stuff like that. So her parents had divorced and her mom went to Canada. And her and her sister basically went K through 12 in Canada, right? She moves back to go to college, uses the affirmative action things and stuff like that to get herself through. But her mom had money the whole time working for MK Ultra. Rumor has it, there's another lawyer that actually went to school with Kamala Harris, right? That was best friends with her mentor. And her mentor actually got to go to the mom's crib in Canada. And according to the mentor, before he passed away mysteriously, he told homeboy that, her mom lived in a really nice house in Montreal. So doesn't sound like she was living in a middle-class neighborhood or whatever like that. She seemed pretty rich. If her mom is this MK Ultra scientist and her dad is a multi-millionaire slave owner's son who's now an economist, right? So it's like, who was paid the 11 million euro equivalent in compensation, right? Back during the 1800s. So, that money, who's to say it dried up, right? How do we know it wasn't spent and, preserved over time, right? Which it should be if he's an economist. He should know how to spend his money, how to save it, how to invest it, all that type of stuff, right? So I wouldn't think that they're broke. He doesn't seem like a broke guy either. His demeanor is very uppity. And if you think about Kamala, besides her checkered past as a thought, from what people seem to say all through San Francisco, she seems to have been an uppity person, which is probably why she got with the Jewish dude she's with now, right? So we'll go ahead and get into it. But I want to prove that there is proof that she's a, Jamaican slave owner, not an actual Jamaican. That's where the Jamaica comes from. Right. But Judge Joe Brown's going to talk about it. He's going to go more in depth. So y'all hit the like button when y'all come in the building. This ain't your typical class. In fact, let's go ahead and get the 3 precepts I got out the way. I just wanted to bring this up so that we have proof on the building, on the class, on the channel, because I told you guys that if she loses the election, I would talk to you about it and show you guys who she is. And I'm going to be a man of my word. So it is what it is. Sorry if you don't like it, but I got to do it. It's the best we can do it because I don't have to talk about this junk no other time than while it's relevant. So let's get Lamentations 4:16. Read the verse 20.
God.
Just to prove this right here, ladies and gentlemen, and mainly the ladies, right? Mainly the black ladies. As far as voting, right? We're not supposed to vote for people that aren't our people. And if there's proof out there that the person is not our people, as opposed to just thinking, well, she's, speaking for our people, you shouldn't vote for her, right? And that might be why the Most High had to lose as bad as he had to lose as well, right? Just to show you guys, you can't beat the Most High, and you shouldn't go against your people, right? And I wouldn't think that a slave master's daughter is going to be somebody that's for your people. And her record as a DA, if you guys actually looked at it and checked it out, would show you that, right? So you guys know anything about that? Yeah.
I got a question, and maybe this is for the audience also. So when it says that we aren't supposed to vote for anyone other than our own people. So let's just say that
we're not supposed to put a foreign king over us, is basically what it says in the Bible.
Right.
Doesn't say nothing about voting. We're not supposed to elect a foreign king over us, right? We're not supposed to allow a foreign person to be a power over our people. And if you're voting for heathen, right, i.e. the election, the presidential election, it's never our people. Barack wasn't our people. In fact, we're going to prove that. For those of you guys that don't know, because a lot of niggas are Democrats, and Democrats get told things are conspiracy instead of looking stuff up, right? So when Barack was president, what's his name? Donald Trump, right? used to say things like he's from Kenya and all this other stuff, right? Which is actually true. He's not from Chicago. He's from Kenya. His father is Kenyan, right? Barack was born in Kenya. His father and mother got divorced, right? Well, they weren't even married, actually. They just had a baby. They don't deal with each other after that. His mom gets with a man named Lolo Sotoro, who's an Indonesian, right? Geographer, who works for a company that basically works with her parents' company, which we'll talk about, Halliburton, right? And she happens to be the first cousin of Bill Cheney. I mean, Dick Cheney, William Cheney, Bill Cheney, same thing, right? Y'all don't know him as Bill. And Dick Cheney and George Bush, right? Who, if you know anything about them, they're cousins, right? Their fathers founded Halliburton, which their fathers are first cousins with each other, right? They got the same grandfather. Barack is related to them on his mama's side, right? He's their black cousin. And he happens to be the richest because of his stepdaddy, which we'll talk about, Lolo Sotoro. If you've heard of his name, Barry, right? Y'all heard about Barack being called Barry? That wasn't a conspiracy theory. His father, Lolo, when he went to Indonesia and Barack lived there, if you know anything about his sister, Maya, his sister, Maya, is half Indonesian because her dad is this guy. Her real dad is this dude that we talking about here, right? This is his half sister. They got the same mom, different dads. So Maya's pops is a billionaire or was a billionaire. He died in a car accident because George Bush and them killed him, tried to get his funds, which they were successful after the third car accident that he was in. And the money obviously went to the kids, which before the kids get it, goes to the parents, right? So money goes to the Halliburton family or the Halliburton Trust and everything like that. But part of it is stuck in Indonesia, where only Barack and his sister would end up getting it, which he got it a couple years ago, which is how he became so rich recently. And they told you it was from him writing a book. I don't know anybody that's wrote a book and made 500 million in a year. You know anybody did that off a book? Not.
Nope.
Me neither. So we're gonna prove where that come from, right? But the reason we're doing this today is basically to show you guys that for one, your vote doesn't count. For two, the presidential election and the presidency just is a family that's, you know, revolving the throne, basically. The movie Game of Thrones, y'all seen that before? It's a family of different ancestral kings that split up over time, and they've been fighting in their little lands that they had, right? For those of you that don't understand the storyline between Game of Thrones, some of them are still involved in incest, some of them aren't, but they're fighting amongst each other to see who's going to be the king of kings, right? That's literally the story of Barack, the Clinton, Bush dynamic, all that type of stuff. Even Sarah Palin was their cousin. You know, the stupid lady from Alaska? I can see Russia from my house. Remember that lady? She's even Barack's cousin. She ran against him while John McCain was running, right? It was Barack and Hillary versus John and Sarah. That was also Barack going against his cousin. So we just gonna show all that stuff, right? Just so that you guys understand this presidential thing and the whole government, right? The shadow government, as they call it. It's just that. Something that they control. Both sides are on the same team, right? But they're split in front of you to make it seem like there's a split, right? Until there actually is one. There isn't one yet. Everything that's going on is orchestrated, even Donald Trump, right? He's the outsider, as they call him, because he's the one that's been involved in the presidential election in the recent years that isn't actually involved in their family, but he's still involved in what they have going on, right? So let's go ahead and get into it.
Oh, Salaki, Kevin, I didn't get a chance to ask my question.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
So the question I wanted to ask is, the scriptures say that we aren't supposed to vote for anyone other than our own brethren, right? So my question to the audience is let's say that one of our brothers actually ran for president, meaning he was an Israelite. Should we still vote? Let me rephrase it. Would that give us the opportunity to be able to vote? Is the question. Can I be heard?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, yeah. So that's the question. That's the question I want to ask everyone. Can we still vote? Let's just say Captain All Your All ran for president here in America. Can we vote for him? Anyone have an answer for that? I see a no. Anyone else? What do you say, Cap? Will we be able to vote for you?
No. If I was a heathen and I was up for presidential election, you couldn't vote for me just because I look like me. I personally, like I tried to tell y'all guys, I don't think Kamala even looked black. I think she looked like Hallie Jackson, just with a more tan. You know, she got a better tan because of the Hindu in her. But yeah, I mean, I never thought she was black. Nothing about her strikes me as black. Not even that is nothing black about that. I don't know no black person that does that.
Right.
You ever did that before, Knock?
No.
Thought something was funny in you?
No, nothing like that.
Show all you.
So I'm looking in the chat and I see that Walena put no. Soldier Gary put La unless it's our king, which that'd be Yahweh Shai. Soldier Araya says, know this not the land that was given to us by the Most High. So okay. Just thought that'd be a kind of a curious question to ask.
All right. Well.
Oh yeah. There you go. Let me put this up real quick. When I heard her say that she took some greens and put this, she claimed that everybody liked her greens, and she had to make so many of them, she had to put them in a bathtub to wash. Now I want to ask any sister on here. Have y'all ever?
She was trying to be funny, but was that funny?
But still, I mean, she claimed that she knows how to make greens, and everybody loved her greens. But who would even make a comment like that? Put them in the bathtub? Come on now.
Somebody not black that think that black people gonna like that. Somebody that thinks black people like greens so much that if the quantity and the quantitative amount could fit in a bathtub, that they would be at awe that I would even think to make that many greens. Oh damn, she making them like that. That's what her mind said that we was gonna say. Damn, she was able to throw that many greens in the bathtub and make them? That's crazy. She be cooking them greens. But niggas was like, what? In the bathtub? Nigga, what? When we say put our foot in it, we don't mean like that. What the fuck you talking?
Right.
So, yeah, it's not.
Reality check.
Exactly. Tell her, Joe.
Right.
Yeah, that video was terrible, man. You know, I hope, he go to prison for that, man. But I gotta ask you about Kamala Harris. How you feel about her? You a fan of hers?
She's a piece of shit.
Woo, say it again.
Kamala Harris. How you feel about her? You a fan of hers?
She's a piece of shit.
About her. You a fan of hers?
She's a piece of shit.
All right, one more time for good measure. Go ahead.
I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she was in California.
Fan of hers?
She's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than researching. I was out in California for 15 years doing my show when she was at her peak, and she had a reputation amongst the trial lawyers of being lazy. She just hike her skirt up and try to flirt, and she wasn't that good in the courtroom.
Hey, hold on. Before we continue, because I'm gonna just let him talk for a minute, right? I ain't gonna interrupt him too much. He gonna talk about Kamala. He's gonna talk to you about some racist stuff that I showed you guys back when we was at SOT. About Joe Biden that you can find in the newspaper about him calling niggas monkeys and saying we're like cockroaches. Once you get us in the schools, you can't get us out. And Barack Obama, right? Where he gets his bread from and how he's actually related to all the white people that you guys think he's not related to. Right. So Let's get it. Oh wait, Isaiah 59:14, right? While he's talking about Kamala in the courtroom, because this is something that so-called black women should have been able to catch. You know what I'm saying? As far as like them being in a situation where they do their research and the things that they're looking for in their research actually don't come back, right? Her record as a DA in no way, shape, or form shows that she even likes black people. Shows that she hates us, if you want to be real. We're the only people she really locked up. We're the only people she really gave real hard time. And it was usually for marijuana in the first state to make it legal. Let that sink in, right?
Right.
She'll give you 30 years for an ounce of weed in the first state to make it legal in the 2000s. We ain't talking 90, 99, 95. We talking like 2008, homie. 2012. Right? So, yeah. That's why niggas didn't like her.
Not pretty bad in the courtroom.
Read that for me. Not pretty bad in the courtroom. Terrible. Right? Isaiah 59:14-15.
Now, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59 and verse 14. And judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment.
See, so-called black people, when we get into a place of judgment in America, right, we're supposed to be able to help our people, put them in a situation where they actually come out better, right, not worse from the situation, especially if we're handing out the judgments to them, right? One of the reasons I like Judge Joe Brown is because he was known for doing that in our community. His record shows it. You can look it up, right? So, like, that's one of the reasons he got the show as one of the first black guys. He had the show before Judge Mathis because, you know, his record reflected it. He had the highest rated judge show for a long time. Him and Judge Judy competed, but even before Judge Judy got on and got big, he was bigger than her, had the highest show rating, right? So it's because his record as a judge, he actually helped people come out better, not just off the TV stuff, but with real cases, right? So Kamala, right? More stuff to prove she's not black. There was no real just judgment that came from her. It was always unjust, actually, if you want to be real. Part of the housing crisis, right, was started by her because she helped bail out One West Bank and allowed George Soros to, you know, sell it for $4.4 billion instead of allowing it to tank and go under. And with that $4.4 billion, she had him help fund her and Willie Brown's campaign to make her DA, which is how she got in the position in the first place, because she helped that bank not go under, right? Helped the housing crisis, and a lot of people lose their cribs in California, right? And well, she was compensated for it, basically. See what I'm saying? And of course, niggas paid the brunt and had the biggest impact as far as the things that we lost during that crisis, right? Especially if you had your stuff tied up in the housing market in California. It was Kamala Harris, that so-called black woman, that was responsible for all of that stuff in Cali because of One West Bank, right? Which was stationed in California, for those of you guys that don't know. So once it failed, it messed up their economy over there specifically, more than it did anywhere else. And of course, that helped, you know, the 2008 housing crisis.
So I'm not surprised at what she does. She's 60 years old, and I think listening to her word salad and the way she talks, I think she's got early onset dementia and also some problems with menopausal complications. That's that. You see, today is going to be tomorrow. So since it's going to be tomorrow, today we have tomorrow, which is why we are now. Like, what did you say?
And that is how she be talking. You can't
It
ain't that what you that what the hell she be saying, bro? Huh? It's that MK Ultra training, because that's how her mama used to talk to her.
Mm.
Give an answer, but don't give an answer, so you can't remember what you gave. So that if you give an answer, they don't know what you said. You caught that? Me neither.
They have something in mind, but they cannot cognate getting all the way through it, which is why she's famous for this word salad garbage, and she doesn't make a bit of sense. I think since she's only 60, she's actually on a worse track than Biden was. Biden is 20-some years older than her, and he has been senile for a long time. Now, about 5 or 6 years ago, when did they start ramping up to do this? 2019. Okay, I was saying Biden has been a failure his whole adult career, a second-rate, third-string player. He's in the game, so he wants to make a name for himself. I considered him for years poor trailer park, urban trailer park trash, and he's a crook. He's a third stringer. Now, what I said he was going to do is he probably wants to claim fame for being the first person to see to it that a woman got to be president. And what I predicted, I'm slightly wrong on it, was that he was going to get in, try to get elected, and if he got one term, try to get elected for a second one. And then halfway through his term, when he had served 2 years, to retire or resign in her favor. So under the 22nd Amendment, what happens is she can serve for the final 2 years for somebody and then be elected twice more. So that woman would be able to serve 10 years, second only to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who got elected to 4 terms before they put the amendment in place so you couldn't. Now, that said, I think
a lot of y'all might be thinking he's gonna be saying a bunch of BS mumbo jumbo bull crap, right? That a bunch of old niggas would be talking. But really listen to what he's saying. Because the parts that I'm playing, they're relevant to what we just seen happen in the election. A lot of things are gonna be relevant to what you're gonna see happening this year, I'm sure. So y'all know like how we played the Cat Williams thing, and then you starting to see everything come to pass that he was talking about, right? We gave you precepts and how all that stuff was going to happen, and now it's actually happening, right? Diddy done got locked up, Trump president, truth's coming out, right? So, pay attention. That's the main thing I want you to do. Okay. What's going on there?
And my major at UCLA was political science. My analysis is they picked the weakest somebody they could as a figurehead, somebody who had some apparent minority status, which she does not. And what goes on is that you get her, everybody that is everybody would be afraid to go against her because of what she can pass herself off as. And then you get somebody that's easy to control because she's lazy, because she is becoming incoherent, and because she's always tried to do the casting couch to get where she wants. Now,
did y'all catch what he said about her, what she could pass as and everything? The reason the Democratic Party used her when it, needed to throw somebody up there, once they realized that we caught the public, meaning we, right? When the public caught that Biden was a little too old to be doing this thing, after he fell walking up the stairs about 8-9 times and forgot his name on stage, and called Biden Hillary or something like that. I mean, called Trump Hillary and all type of crap, right? Like called his wife his brother's name, all type of crap was going on, right? So once the public realized that Biden, either isn't Biden or nigga too old to even speak, they decided to throw somebody else up there that they thought was going to get the vote, right? By playing on the stupidity of black people. Well, What happened with Barack? They played on the stupidity of black people. They gave you what you thought was a black man, right? He ain't nowhere from here. He even told you himself once the truth came out. Oh, I'm from Hawaii. From Hawaii. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I moved to Canada and played basketball there, and I had a good time. Yeah, he was never from. He ain't from Hawaii. He's not from Chicago. He's not from none of those places, right? And a foreigner is not even supposed to be president, but he got to be president, being all of those things, right? And all he had to do was tell you he was black because of what he looked like, right? And all he had to do was tell you, it doesn't matter what I am. When you see me walking down the street, what do you see? Canuck, what do you see when you see me walking down the street? Do you see a mixed man? Do you see a man that has a white mother? No. You see a black man. I ain't talking like that the whole show. Hell no. So that's what you see, right? You see a black man. That's what he told you. Everybody start clapping. Woo-hoo! Yeah. Because they think Barack's a black man because of what he looked like. But that's not what the deal is, right? He just looked like a black man. Just like Kamala looks like a black woman. Well, to y'all, because like I said, to me, she looks like Hallie Jackson. I'm going to keep saying it because that's what she look like to me, right? She even do her hair the same way. The smile is the same. The bone structure is the same. They just got a different nose, and she got a better tan because Hallie don't got no Hindu in her. So, but point is, just like Barack was able to masquerade as a black person, even though he wasn't black, and told you he wasn't black, and just said, I look like y'all, so y'all better vote for me. In fact, he basically did the same thing with her. He went on TV and told niggas, hey, if you black, your duty is to vote for Kamala. That is your duty as a black person. It's not to let Trump win, right? That's what he told us on TV. So we were supposed to just vote for her because she looked black, like we were supposed to vote for him because he looked black, right? Regardless of what they were going to do for us or any of that stuff. So that's what I want you guys to realize, right? And Judge is pointing that out. He's going to get real and, he's going to get down to it, down to the nitty gritty, to let you guys fully understand the makeup of why she was chosen, right? Where she comes from, and then a little bit of the history with Biden and everything like that too, to prove that he's never been for black people. He's the quote unquote Dixiecrat or Southern boy, right? If y'all know anything about the Dixie Boys and the Dixiecrats, they're the ones that burned down Black Wall Street. Okay, it was the Dixie Boys that had their little the little planes that do the flips and stuff. I forget what them little tiny ass planes called, with the 1 or 2 passengers or whatever, right? They threw them little ugly planes in the air and dropped bombs on top of the spot. A few of them had helicopters. A couple of them drove bombs in their little drop tops and tossed them out the window. But it was the Dixie Boys that did that, right? Well, Biden was a Dixie boy. One of the leaders of the Dixie Boys, and one of the ones that went into politics. You can see proof of this from him in the 50s all the way to the 80s. And in the 70s, he made some pretty disparaging remarks about Negroes, right? At a time where Negroes weren't being called Negroes anymore. So
problem is that'll get somebody to a certain level quickly, but you can't get past that level if you don't have competence and talent. So my thing about it is if I'm crude about it, in this city years ago, I used to represent a whole bunch of pimps and hoes, and I know a hoe when I see one. And I say this, I don't care, women, you do what you want to do if you want to have recreational sex, but when you do the casting couch or anything else for professional purposes to get paid or advance, you a hoe. And she's old hoe. And the problem is what is she supposed to do? Somebody one of her sycophant slaves comes up and unwraps her in a carpet naked at Putin's feet, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm Julius Caesar." He said, "No, I got better stuff here already. Plus, I don't want you anyway. You old."
Y'all didn't know that happened, huh? Kamala was at the forefront, right? When the election started, before Biden got the presidency, they propped her up as somebody that was going to have a voice. And then once they realized niggas didn't like her, they shut her up. Once Biden got into the presidency, she still didn't have a voice the whole time. Reason why is because she wasn't a voice the whole time. She was an old hoe. That's what he said, right? He said she an old hoe, Kasaji. You want me to rewind it? He said she a 60-year-old Todoroni. Not tenderoni, Todoroni. That's what y'all used to say, right? Not tenderoni.
That's right.
Tenderloin.
Go ahead and run it back one more again.
A woman get at Putin's feet, and he says, "The problem is what is she supposed to do? Somebody, one of her sycophant slaves, comes up and unwraps else for professional purposes to get paid or advance. You a hoe, and she's old hoe, and the problem."
She's an old hoe. Okay, he just telling it like it is. They tried to give her to Putin, right? To make Putin relations with us better, right? Anytime you pull up Putin, we'll give your ass Kamala. It's all good. Her husband gay. He don't even want her. That's why she ain't got no kids. Oh, nah, I'm straight. Putin said, "I'm good. I got better than that." This is the best you offer me. What is this? Nah. Nah, Putin ain't like that.
Is what is she supposed to do? Somebody, one of her sycophant slaves, comes up and unwraps her in a carpet naked at Putin's feet, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm Julius Caesar." He said, "No, I got better stuff here already. Plus, I don't want you anyway. You old woman. Get on up. You know,
this is the best you offer me." Nah,
or Xi Jinping, is he supposed to be impressed? She's doing word salad. Well, we're here today because China and the U.S. are here today, and that's why we have to agree on what we're doing here today. Like, fool, what did you just say? You know, did you say anything? And I've never seen such a salacious mess as I've seen out of her. I think of One West Bank. I had some pretty good properties out in California.
Listen carefully, guys. A lot of y'all was losing money during the crash. You don't know how it happened. You was finna vote for the woman that helped you lose all your mother trucking money.
At one point in time. And I know I had 3 neighbors who had good properties. It was in place.
You know why he said I had good properties in California at one time? Because he don't have them no more.
It's called Ojai, California. And they got caught up about...
It's called Ojai, and she locking niggas up. Ain't that crazy? God damn. Can't make this up.
15, 16 years ago, like a lot of people did in that mortgage bundling scam stuff that was going on. And there was a bank called One West Bank responsible for it, which was owned by George Soros.
Hold up. Please tell that sister Judge Joe Brown is not on the show right now. He can't see your comments, sis. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at your comments. I'm trying to figure out what she really is saying.
I just realized what's going on. I apologize, sis, but this is not really. This is a recording of Judge Joe Brown. He's not here today with us right now. He ain't coming on the show either. You know what I'm saying? We just talking about some stuff he talked about. That's it. And I don't got the power to release nobody. The police hate me, so they're not going to release nobody off me asking them to do it. They might keep him in jail longer. So you might actually want to seek some professional help. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I'll pray for you, though.
The Mnuchin that you have out of the Obama administration was Mnuchin, who was the CEO of One West Bank. Well, there were approximately 1,200 counts of indictments returned against Mnuchin and One West Bank in various counties in California. Well, Mnuchin and Soros financed and arranged and sponsored.
Your district attorney was Kamala Harris.
Sponsored Kamala to run for Attorney General of California. They got her elected. She got in, and using the authority she had, she promptly consolidated all 5,200 counts and dismissed them. And a couple of weeks later, Soros sold.
So she consolidates the counts, meaning she makes them less than 5,000 counts, probably like a couple hundred, and then she dismisses all of them. No problems go to the bank, right? Which makes it possible for him to do this.
One West Bank for $4.2 billion. So after that, they got together and got her finance and got everything organized and made the connections for her, and she got elected to U.S. Senator. Willie Brown made the initial contacts and arrangement.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did he mention the name Soros?
Yeah, he did.
So is anyone
more about it in a second?
Oh, okay, all right.
George. No, go ahead.
I know who it is. Yeah,
I about George. Good old George.
That's right. Right. Okay, cool.
Arrangement so she could get elected as district attorney for San Francisco. She didn't do a very good job. She had a reputation for giving out the stiffest sentences in the United States of America for simple possession of marijuana in San Francisco, for God's sakes. But it was only to young black men. She's not a parent, never had any.
Why only to young black men? She's supposed to be black.
Right.
Well, she's colored. She like colored folks. She's Indian, right? They all like us. No. No. An Indian called me a parasite one time at a stoplight. I almost shot that motherfucker. I got out the car and everything. No bullshit. But he cut me off. I rolled down the window and asked him, yo, you ain't see me? Don't talk to me like that, you parasite. I said, nigga, what? I'm a what? Jumped out the car, his ass. He took off so fast in that little ugly ass Mini Cooper. But they the most racist. Boy, Elam is racist. Okay? They hate niggas. For y'all to think, boy, Elam hate niggas.
Children, but she went off on this campaign to lock parents up, some of whom actually were shown to have dropped their children off at the school, but they played hooky, so she was putting them in jail.
So for some of y'all, because he's not going to elaborate on that, for some of y'all that might make that go over your head, he just explained to you that Kamala was literally making broken homes. She'll take a father, lock him up, that might have got caught with some possession of marijuana. After he just dropped his son or daughter off at the school, nobody there to pick the kid up. Kid might end up in the streets after that. Kid might end up in foster care after that. Anything might happen to the kid after that, right? Kamala don't give a damn. She gonna lock this nigga up for simple possession of marijuana, right? If it's a white guy that gets locked up, she gonna dismiss the white boy's charges. If it's a black guy, he's getting 25 to life. One nigga got the death penalty. He ain't even have the weed on him, and she hid the evidence. He's gonna talk about this too. She hid the evidence that escapaded him until after they gave that nigga the chair or the needle, whatever they did in California. So after homeboy was dead, that's when she found, oh, here it is. Found the evidence, guys. Damn. Turns out he was innocent. Golly gee. Dang flabbit. Y'all shouldn't have killed that nigga. Oh, well. Next time, don't let this happen again. That was it. Right? And y'all voted for her when all of this stuff is on the internet. You could Google it. It's part of her record, public record as a district attorney or attorney general in California. You can read about all her cases. You can see all the complaints. You can see the years that she was an attorney general and the fact that she had more complaints as attorney general in California than any other attorney in the United States. Not just attorney general, not a district attorney, right? Any attorney, period, in the whole United States of America. She had more complaints than anybody. So it's all public record, but niggas don't research.
I know my in-laws, now late in-laws because they're dead. And
in fact, niggas did research, and the women still making Facebook posts right now today, mad at niggas for actually doing research and not voting for the woman. Ain't that something?
their fine daughter that I was married to, we were divorced. She got a whole lot of money, but anyway, out of me. What wound up happening was there was a liquor store they like to patronize on the way home. And it was a good liquor store, but it got held up a lot. So Kamala's solution was not go get the crooks, but close down the liquor store so nobody would be troubled by it.
That liquor store was owned by black people. That's why it was closed down the liquor store instead of let's get the crooks. If them niggas didn't have that liquor store, they wouldn't be robbing it.
See, that kind of philosophy, or you've got the serial killer who's got 6 victims, and the families are writing protest letters to her, not hurry up and do something, not why are you giving the guy such a light deal, is why don't you let this man plead guilty to life without parole instead of delaying it for 7 years, trying to make political hay out of it. I was caught up in a thing where this woman who was supposed to be a financial specialist wound up embezzling a lot, $1.5 million from me, about 15 million from some other black celebrities. And this woman who was caught trying to make political hay out of it.
So this thing where she took 7 years to prosecute this case with this serial killer, instead of using it and getting the case through and giving the family justice, right? She allowed justice to be slack, as we read in Isaiah 59, right? She allowed no justice to actually bring forth because she wanted to use this case as the biggest case she had, in her career as a DA, to string it along, kind of like how Fonnie Willis just did with this Young Thug thing, right? She ain't let the man go until it's time for the election, right? She gets reelected, and then ironically, same week as the election, everything comes to a halt and Young Thug gets to come home. Y'all didn't think that was ironic? I'm in Georgia. I know how it went. But, so that whole thing happens because she used that case as political hay to fund her reelection, right? Well, they and if you know anything about Fonnie and Kamala, they're friends. They know each other, right? They talk, all that type of stuff. Well, Fonnie learned that trick from Kamala. Kamala did it first in San Francisco, right? With this serial killer case, but it took her 7 years instead of 3. It took Fonnie Willis 3 years, and this was the longest case in Georgia history. Well, Kamala has the longest case in California history with the 7-year serial killer case, right? Both of these black women, if you want to call them that, right? Black women, they both did that, right? So
I was caught up in a thing where this woman is not the $15 million, 5 years in the penitentiary. Don't even consult with her. She did this on his favorite black, but I'm a prosecutor and do Indian performance, and then she was everybody's favorite Hindu Indian prosecutor and attorney general and senator, and now she becomes black. But I met her daddy. fine gentleman, Professor Harris.
Now you know, Judge is a Christian, right? He believes in the Bible and everything like that. He's about to give you a biblical breakdown of her genealogy, right? In the way he sees it. Notice he's not gonna mention her mom until he needs to. But as far as her ethnicity, nationality, genealogy, pedigree, he's only gonna talk about what her father says he is. Because Judge Joe Brown knows what makes you. He's old enough to remember the term "you are what your father is," because you grew up under that, right? So keep that in mind. That's the reason why he's not mentioning the mother here while he's talking about the woman, because he's not under New Age propaganda, right? He's under the Mockingbird Act operation, right? Where they repeat a bunch of BS to make everybody say the same thing. Like, you know, the mom and the daddy both matter as far as ethnicity and stuff. They didn't used to say that when Judge was a kid. It was "you are what your daddy is." That's why he spoke to her father, and her father told him this.
And fine gentleman, Professor Harris. And the problem with her being black is Professor Harris says he's Caucasian, mixed Irish and Hindu. He doesn't have any black ancestors, but his Irish ancestors owned a lot of slaves in Jamaica.
Didn't I just show you that in a newspaper article? Irish Times did it, and New York Times did it, and Judge Joe Brown knows it, and Janet Jackson repeated it. It was public record.
Right.
It wasn't nothing that was hard to find. When Janet said, Kamala's not black, her daddy's white. It's because Janet's old enough to know you are what your daddy is, and she's a Jehovah's Witness.
Right. And had them to work on plantation. So if mama is on the birth certificate listed as a Caucasian, daddy says he's a Caucasian Hindu and has no black ancestors, how did she get to be black? Now, a little side story.
Don't got time for side stories today, Judge. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
And then they gave me two, and
hold on.
Father was one of them said my mother's a Hindu Brahmin caste, and my father was Hindu warrior caste. He took an oath till he can't go back to India. So yeah, and then they gave me two books.
Listen to this.
The guys were Hindu, and they were very dark, but they cut their hair off close, grew beards, and started dressing and acting black, and they got financial aid. One of them, I think, went through medical school that way, masquerading for being black. Somebody else did it, so she went to Howard. And by the way, she told one big lie when she was talking about she got bust because of something Biden did when she was running against him. Well, the yearbook that she put out there that you can still get online from her high school in Canada shows she went from kindergarten through 12th grade in Canada, never went to school in the United States of America.
Okay, so look, because she never went to school in the United States of America, her dumbass put a yearbook on Facebook and people could look it up. Oh, what's the school on this yearbook? And then they look up the school and then they see, oh, it's in Canada. And then they look up her name in the other yearbooks from the school, in the elementary school, in the middle school, right? And they see she's in all of the records. She never went to school in America. She went through kindergarten through 12th grade in Canada. It's public record, right? It's because she put it on her Facebook page. It wasn't nothing nobody did, right? So once you do your research and you find that out, you realize, okay, so the whole story about her growing up in California was a lie. Damn. Then you got the thing about her going to Howard. Oh, she went to Howard. It's a HBCU. Well, he just told you about this Indian guy, right? Who dressed up as a nigga, came to America and used the affirmative action rules to be able to get through, right?
Right.
Well, look, it's happened before, and Kamala did the same thing. Shout out to the AI overview. In a controversial true story, two Indian men, Vijay Chakal Ingham and his brother decided to exploit the system of affirmative action by pretending to be black to gain admission to prestigious medical schools. a decision that would later haunt them as they faced accusations of cultural appropriation and unethical behavior. Though they faced those accusations, they didn't get their degree taken, and they still are doctors right now. Right? And I guarantee you, out of the 143,000 people that saw this interview, I'm probably one of maybe 5 or 6 that even looked that story up. I bet you nobody else did. If even 5 or 6 of us did that. I might be the only one that looked it up out of all those people. Because niggas don't research. Right? When I heard that, I was like, let me see if this is true. And then I Googled it. Look, all I did was type in story of 2 Hindu men that pretended to be black. And this junk came up. Exactly what he's talking about. He said something about medical school. I didn't even have to put medical school in. The story is about 2 Indians pretending to go to medical school. I mean, pretending to be black to get into prestigious medical school. Right? Look, shaving their heads, trimming their eyelashes, and adopting new names. Right? So they probably went by Rashad and DeMarcus or some shit like that.
Right.
You feel me? Cultural appropriation. So that happened, right? Judge John Brown don't be lying. He be on top of his stuff, bro. You know what he talking about. Y'all just be thinking he don't know what he talking about because y'all don't research nothing. Y'all don't go look up what people are saying. Y'all just take what they say at face value or deny it at face value. Y'all take what the news say at face value and deny everybody else. I'll say that.
She was born, by the way, in the same hospital that my ex-wife was born in, the same 12-month period. And
fast forward. Hold on a second. Jump here.
The hell have you done? That's what I tell did you.
Like, because I always heard this rumor that she slept her way to the top. That's true.
She did. She's old. She's 60 years old. Look, if you want to find out about it, go online to the LA Times.
He's telling you to research. It's public record.
And morgue. They used to have it so for a fee you could get them to pull articles. They've been reporting on her for 30-some years. She's in her 20s, and Willie Brown took her up as his mistress. There was a medical firm that dealt with San Francisco. He got her a 15-hour-a-week part-time job there, which she never showed up to.
The articles tell you she never showed up. And guess how much money she made at the end of the year?
According to the Times, but they paid her $72,000 a year for 15 hours a week. And understand she's in.
So she got $72,000 a year in college.
In her 20s, which is 30-some years ago. That's big money now. So he got her promoted up, so she did 20 hours a week. Times reported she never showed up, but she got $120,000 a year. So
Kamala was making $72,000 and $120,000 a year in her early 20s, just because she was with Willie Brown. She didn't even have to go to work. So when niggas say she slept her way to the top, she did. Why do you think she got no kids? She couldn't take care of no children when she's sleeping her way to the top. She making them strap up. So, I mean, you know, it's crazy, bro. The Times, though, they reported. Shout out to New York Times. I love New York Times. New York Times is one of the people that reported after CNN falsely reported that dude that shot them Jewish people was an Israelite. New York Times told everybody he wasn't. And then CNN put out an article saying that they was wrong, but they didn't put that on the news. Right? But New York Times was telling the truth. So I like the Times. They be honest most of the time.
He bought her a
They did Chief Ephraim dirty, but other than that, they were straight.
50i BMW, which was the top of the line at the time. So he set her up with all of the connections to get her into politics. The Times did a thing about this thing she had allegedly with an NBA player to get a job with a big law firm, and then a thing they did on her with the assistant director for the district attorney's office to get on with them, and then Montel Williams, and then back to Willie Brown, and then the rest of the whole thing, and she winds up with a Hollywood lawyer type not long before she runs for senator. So,
and her husband's a Hollywood lawyer that doesn't have any Hollywood movies attached to anything that he's ever, disputed. No people that have directed any Hollywood movies that he's disputed, as far as what you can look up. If you know anything about Willie Brown was a front man for the cartel. He was known for that, right? He had a lot of cartel contacts in California. That's what he was known for. He became the mayor because of his cartel contacts, right? They're who funded his campaign and everything like that, because they needed somebody that would give them free passage through San Francisco. They picked a black man, Willie Brown. Willie Brown was also one of the guys that was helping what's his name? Free Ray Rick get his stuff through there and stuff like that. All this is happening at the same time period. So like Kamala is basically Willie Brown's thought, his young hoe at the time. She old hoe now, but back then she the young hoe, right? And Willie's using her, right, for the first 2 years, and he's propping her up, putting her in position to be able to do her own thing. That's why she gets the job, right? The 15-hour a week job where she makes $72,000 a year, and in the 20-hour week, yo, could you just work 15 hours and make $72,000 not anywhere you know?
Come on, Cap. Ain't no way around here. No way around here.
40 hours is full time in America nowadays, right?
Right.
She was making $72,000 for 15 hours in the 70s.
What kind of work was she doing?
You know what type of work she was doing. The type of work they do at the strip club. How about that? So
it's about 15 hours, man.
Yeah, right. She was getting paid like a stripper. Real talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she worked. Yeah. She was getting paid Magic City wage. That's facts.
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I mean, you can't make this junk up, bro. This is Kamala Harris, and like I said, it's all verifiable. Let's fast forward some more. Before we get into Mr. Biden.
Person, and it's got to do with that hyena grin she's always giggling about.
Huh? With that what? What is it?
Hyena grin?
Huh? Hey, I know what you're talking about? Yeah, that right there. Yeah, what?
Person, and it's got to do with that hyena grin she's always giggling about. There's low self-esteem that is going on. And the pimps can't turn a hoe out. She has been turned out by her family or her preacher. If you saw her
before this, he started talking about how her mom was MK Ultra and raised them to be all crazy. And there's another lawyer that grew up with her that actually said the same thing. He lived with her like face to face. Judge Joe Brown just went to school with them and everything and got to hear about it. And he was already a judge when she's coming up, so he got kids that he's mentoring that are in class with her. They all talk about her in craft, so that's how he knows so much. But one of the guys that he was mentoring, this Asian dude, I forget what that guy named, he actually did a interview with Candace Owens, and he went in on the family of Kamala Harris to explain that dynamic and how she grew up and stuff like that. And he only knows her from college, obviously, because of that stuff. But obviously, she spoke a lot when she was in college about how she grew up, because him and the dude that mentored her and helped her pass all her classes and stuff like that, who's dead now, he was this Asian dude best friend, and they would he basically got all the dude's notes basically when he died. So he's able to relay all the stuff that nobody else knows about Kamala that this other guy knows that he wrote in his notes because he got all the notes now. And he been giving interviews too. But of course, none of the sisters seemed to watch them interviews either. They just thought it was all conspiracy theory and people trying to talk bad about this black woman. So that the black woman that's not black, you know.
Grandmama, aunts and uncles, they say, yeah, we got a trial in the trib. She just so pretty. We know she gonna be slutting out and all these men's gonna be trying to get her. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what the girls do is when the person treats them like a dog, they say, I deserve it. I'm wrong. I'm evil. Somebody needs to punish me. Be treated as they want. Up for the true harm, what would have it? She was particularly harsh in the way black men got treated when they came through the system that she had prosecutorial preeminence in. You see, she set up no programs to come up with work alternatives. She set up no programs to deal with rehabilitation. She set up no programs to deal with counseling. She set up no programs to offer alternatives to criminality.
She just lock your ass up like a slave master, right? Keep you as free labor for the state to be able to use to go pick up their trash and cut their grass and wipe their ass whenever they feel like
it. She just came down hard. And it's like, what did you get from her? You must have had a white client. Yeah, I did. Well, what do your black clients get? Not the same thing as the white ones. And you had enough black attorneys who had white clients to know the difference.
And one thing I know.
So they would talk amongst each other, right? That's also how the black man was able to get the word out about Kamala not really caring about black men when she was a DA, because there were black attorneys that would defend white people and defend black people that all had to go against her and sit in her courtroom. And the judgments that she gave to white people were a whole lot more lenient for some reason than the black people were. But now all of a sudden she wants to be black and claim how she loves black people and she's going to help. Why you think she wasn't ever eager to say, yeah, I'll do things for black people that's going to just help black people? She would say things like, I'm not going to just do things to help black people. Let's be honest. If I do something to help black people, everybody's going to benefit from it. So I'm not just going to say it's going to help just black people. It's going to help everybody. It's because she don't give a damn about black people. She don't want the words to I'm going to just help black people to ever come out her mouth. She hate niggas. Right? She got with Montel, who's probably gay. I always thought he was. I never thought he was straight. You ever thought Montel was straight?
I mean, back then I was a lot younger, but now I know what, the true meaning of feminism is. I can see it a little bit now, but back then I couldn't really, I wasn't in the same frame of mind that I am right now.
The rock and roll look, just always, when I seen a brother do it back then, it just made me feel like he was gay. He had to be gay.
Right.
Going to Diddy parties or something. Because, but so you had Montel and then you had Willie Brown. And we know why she was with Willie. Willie was 60-something years old when she got with him. She's 27.
Right.
She ain't like Willie. She with Willie because Willie got the bread. Everybody knew that's why she was with Willie. Willie even know that's why she was with Willie. Willie had other women.
Right.
That's why Willie given the position. Yeah, you're going to be able to help me out because I'm probably going to get in trouble anyway. I'm helping the cartel. I'm going to need somebody that's a district attorney to be able to bail me out when I get in trouble. That's the whole reason she was in a position, to help Willie if he ever get in trouble. That was it.
Right.
It wasn't because she was talented, because she was supposed to be a DA, because she had aspirations of being DA. No, she was a young thought. Her mama put her through law school, and she's like, yo, hook me up with somebody that can help me get my grades through. I'll do what you need me to do. And Willie said, all right, bet. Well, and if that's the case, I'm going to make you the DA. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get this little Asian nigga right here to help you. I forget the dude's name that she killed. A legend.
noticed, you know, personally, is a lot of black women feel like she's pandering to black women to get votes.
It's the Democratic Party was chartered the second decade of the 19th century to promote and expand slavery. They were used to dealing with slaves. They started the Civil War to protect slavery. When they got whipped, they came back into the mix, they formulated the Klan and everything else to keep the colored in check. I heard Biden with my own ears in 1972, saw him with my own eyeballs.
You could take whatever part of the quote that he's about to say and put it in Google. Biden said the quote, this, that, and the third, and the article from 1970 something will pop up. You can read it for yourself. I showed it on a class before, years ago.
Was introduced by Faubus, Stennis, Byrd, and Eastland. Oh yeah, Wallace came in there, and they were introduced.
Those are racist Southern Senate members, and you know.
Speaking of George Wallace.
Yeah, you know who that is?
Con.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mom was telling me about these guys because that's before my time. I don't know who none of them crackers is, but my mom said there was some pretty crack. You know, they was crackers.
Very outspoken about
it. Yeah.
Is the new great white hope, the new Dixiecrat who knew how to handle the Negro.
Who?
The new Dixie. They were introducing him as the new great white hope, the new Dixiecrat who knew how to handle the Negro. And I heard him make that speech that he.
Why you think they teamed him up with Barack Obama? Because he was the Dixiecrat that could handle the Negro. The white people that were old enough to remember who Biden really is, they voted for Biden because they knew what Biden really stands for. They know that he's on the side of, you know, the Democrats, not because he likes niggas, but because he knows how to handle niggas. He knows what to say to keep us quiet and keep us in check and to keep us, you know, doing what they want. The other white people, they might say the wrong thing to get us pissed off. Donald Trump gonna be too honest, right? But Joe Biden, he gonna say exactly what you want him to say. That's gonna make you feel like, oh, this white man might care about us. I start watering a little bit because he knows how to handle the Negro. Go ahead.
And remember, this is the same president that said, if you don't vote for me, you're not what?
If you don't vote for me, you're not black. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. You might as well just, vote for Donald Trump. Right? So, I mean, why? Why did he think that was going to work? Because it would have worked back in the day with the niggas he's used to talking to. Right? Niggas are going through an awakening now. He don't know how to handle these type of niggas. Niggas that research stuff and look things up. Biden ain't used to that. Biden's used to niggas that just do what he say, right? If he say the right thing, they gonna do it. This time, niggas researched some stuff. They looked some things up. They wasn't feeling it. But all the Biden, experience of the past, since the 70s, Biden's been able to say whatever he want to say to niggas, even though the white people know who he really is, right? And he make you feel like, oh, damn. This white guy actually cares about us. They put him with Barack, who was posing as a black guy. And they put this white guy with him because the white people that didn't know that Barack is actually on their side, they had to know that somebody was going to be behind Barack that wasn't going to allow these niggas to take over the country. The Dixiecrat, Joe Biden, wasn't going to allow that to happen. Now the Dixiecrat, Joe Biden, was the one controlling Kamala. From the time he got in 2019, he told you that his plan the whole time was to make sure that he leaves office and Kamala's president. That was his whole goal, he said, from the time he was in office. It's because the Democratic agenda was to put a woman on the throne, right? Eventually it is. I think they're going to get one at some point because there's a buildup, right? Third time's the charm, as they say. First it was Hillary. Now it was Kamala. I wonder who the third one going to be. Might be Hallie Jackson. I don't know. But we know they're not going to try Kamala again because that was an epic fail. This was a social experiment like COVID-19. They were trying to see if niggas was going to, fall for the nigga female thing again. A lot more of y'all voted for Hillary. So when they want a white woman up there, that's what they're going to do. Put a real white woman up there instead of a white woman covered in chocolate. Right?
Made a lot of remarks to 75, 77 to the newspapers about Negroes are animals. They turn the streets into jungles and they need to be put into zoos.
What'd he say?
577 to the newspapers about Negroes are animals. They turn the streets into jungles and they need to be put in the zoos.
Wasn't he also one of the people responsible for the crime bill that locks niggas up right now?
Oh, he was well, wait a minute. Hold on. He was one of the masterminds behind creating that whole bill. I mean, that was his baby. That was his baby. There were others that also also collaborated with him and also helped write that out, but that was his creation.
But it was Biden, right?
Yeah, Biden. Yeah. Wholehearted.
The Dixiecrat.
That's right.
The good old boy that know how to handle the good old boys.
That's right.
So y'all just don't know who y'all be dealing with. Y'all be thinking man, it's crazy.
Young Negro.
I think what needs to be said though, we got to understand the situation that we're in. If you really look at what's going on today, it's nothing new from what was going on in the past, right? During our slavery and in captivity, we had there were Democrats and there were Republicans back then, right? Who were the Democrats then? The Democrats
were the racists.
Were the slave owners.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They controlled and they monitored everything that our ancestors could and could not do. It's the same thing that's going on today. When you got the Democrats, what do? They want more government, more aid, especially focusing on black families, single black homes. There's a welfare system, right?
It's a government assistance type thing.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. They're keeping guard on what we can have, how much we can have, when we can have,
how we do it.
Right. Who's eligible, who's not. It's the same exact thing. And so
in
a lot of
the music industry too.
Right, exactly.
Like, just to let me back off you, like Rockefeller and everything, right? That's the side. The reason the Jay-Z's thing was named after Rockefeller is because the Rockefellers, for those of you that don't know, they're the Jewish sect of the people that fund the Democratic side. And the Rothschilds are the Jewish sect that fund the Republican side, right?
So Hegelian dialectic. That's right.
Right. So you got two sides of the same coin, right? The Democrats are funded by the Rockefeller, Republicans are funded by the Rothschilds. And Anderson Cooper, one of those famous, the Democrats, he's a descendant of the Rockefeller, right? The people that run the music industry, they're usually connected to the Rockefeller, or they're in business with the Rockefeller somehow, some way, because they all own. It's the Rockefellers that own the music, the labels and stuff like that, right? So, and it's the Democrats that were using all of the celebrities, right, in the music industry to go on stage and dance and rap and all that type of crap, because they thought that the people listening to this music, that's what's going to, get them, right? These are the people they look up to. They didn't realize it's a little bit different now. Social media has changed the dynamic of how people look at and choose their idols, right? Now folks can listen to music but not give a damn about what those people say politically, whereas it didn't used to be like that.
Right.
Before, if DMX say something about who you gonna vote for, even though he's DMX, he probably can't spell DMX backwards. He's smart and everything, but DMX wasn't that smart. You know what I'm saying? So, like, back in the day, though, you'd listen to what he say. If he tell you vote for Barack, you're gonna vote for Barack. Busta Rhymes get on stage and give it, and then he vote for Barack, and like everybody vote for Barack. You know, he's getting Arab money, and then niggas go like they go do it. Beyonce jump on stage, tell you who run the world, girls, vote for vote for Hillary, right? Like that's what they used to do, and it used to work. It don't work no more. So this was a social experiment to see how they need to switch things up.
Right.
They got you guys thinking they're going to listen to how they need to switch things up because that's part of the social experiment to make you think, oh, they messed up this time, they're going to fix it. That's the game plan. You see, that's the propaganda they're already pushing, right? The Democratic Party messed up. They have to listen to the people and fix what the people didn't like this time. The people spoke. Biden goes on stage. America has spoken. We're going to respect what America has said, what the people have said. That's all the thing that they're echoing right now, right? That's the Project Mockingbird. It's to make the Democratic Party and mainly you niggas and Hispanics think that the government's actually going to listen to what you feel because they lost your vote, right? It's not like that. It's never going to be like that. That's not the goal. This is part of the propaganda. It's two sides of the same coin.
Children are like roaches. Once they get into school, you can't get them out. They turn schools into zoos. And he knew the Negro. And he made an interesting remark. He said he had adopted Delaware as his state after coming from Pennsylvania. And he said Delaware were cowards. They should have split off and gone with the South during the Civil War, and they were too scared because they were too close to Washington, D.C. and Maryland.
So he been a racist little trucker the whole time, right? Don't nobody even know where the hell Delaware is. He talking about they should have split from the Union and joined the Confederacy. Probably only had 10 people in the whole damn state the whole time.
Court's orders. That's not going to lay. Country, I wouldn't say that.
U.S. president, it make a lot of sense. Obama, you made a comment about him being the richest U.S. president, and he never did anything for black people. Can you go more into detail about that comment?
Yeah, well, look this person up. Samuel Hinckley, Hinkley.
Samuel Hinckley. Hold on. And I'm going to say this. You can't find it online. But ironically, all these people have names that connect them to Jewish people.
Right.
Samuel Hinckley, the Adams family, and the Bush family. You know. Those are names that go back to Jewish people. So Samuel Hinckley, Moser family history, 1587 to 1662, right? So this is them. They're famous descendants, right? From England. And Moser family to me sounds Jewish. Just saying. But this is the family that they come from. Their family originally coming from England, stuff like that, right? Or at least
Captain,
that's where this dude is from.
Captain, are you showing something, or are you just reading something?
Well, I wasn't gonna show it, but I guess I can. So if you type his name in, you get an article from WordPress, you get something from Fandom, but the Fandom thing looks like they just copied WordPress, right? Put the same thing. But this Moser family, right? This has Jewish origin. You can't find nothing about the Bush family or the Obamas being Jewish, but there has to be some type of connection. And there is proof that Kamala Harris' daddy is Jewish, right? It goes back to Jewish people. So I wouldn't put it past this being the case with them either. Yeah. I know that the intelligence groups that they use are connected with the Jewish intelligence. We have the CIA, you know what I'm saying? And the Jewish people have Mossad, and the CIA and Mossad work closely together. They're like damn near brother and sister, right? So our sister groups are, our intelligence groups work together closely. All our presidents are cool with each other, and yeah, they just act like they not, but I really think they are, and I think it's because they all are part of the same group, right? And the last couple of presidents we've had, other than Donald Trump, are literally in the same family, and their great grandfather, the man that connects them all, is this dude Samuel Hinckley. So that's why he's bringing him up. We're about to get the connection.
An interesting individual. 7 of his descendants were U.S. presidents. 1 was a U.S. vice president. 1 was a candidate for U.S. vice president.
So he's got 7 presidents in his family, right? 7. He's got 2 vice presidents and a candidate for vice president, which was Sarah Palin, right? So
one you find is
and a famous actor,
notorious billionaire, and one's a famous actor. Now,
the notorious billionaire, I haven't put that together yet. Unless that's Lolo Sotoro. Or it might be Donald Trump. I'm trying to figure out how Donald Trump is connected to this. I haven't put it together yet. So I'm going to find that out.
Let's deal with Barack Obama and how he gets to be so wealthy. His grandfather, maternal grandfather, was first cousin to George Herbert Walker Bush, President of the United States. George Herbert Walker Bush.
Yeah, Spelman's named after Rockefeller's wife. Spelman's in Atlanta, and it's a Democratic-funded school, right? That teaches a whole lot of feminist practices and stuff like that to the girls that go there. Right. I know I've dealt with some girls that went to Spelman.
And Obama's maternal grandfather were nephews of George Herbert Walker, after whom the first Bush president was named. George Herbert Walker founded Halliburton in 1946.
Halliburton is why the Iraq War started, and a lot of other things that's happening, you know. Shout out to the brothers.
Halliburton.
Shout out to Halliburton.
Was in energy development. George Walker Bush, the son of George Herbert Walker, was president of the United States. He was a cousin of Barack Obama, who at the time, most of the time, was known as Barry Soetoro. Barry Soetoro was his stepfather. All right?
Hold on. Just before we continue, because this Barack thing, the last thing we're going to play, and then we're going to cut it off. Here to show you, Lolo Sotoro, Indonesian geographer. When you type his name in, for some reason, Barack pops up. Right? There's Barack's sister. That's Barack ugly ass mama. That's his stepdaddy. And that's that big head African nigga right there. You see him? Okay. All right. So this guy died a billionaire, right? This family had him killed. These white people right here, right? They had him killed because they thought that he was going to give them, or they were going to, you know, through this lady, they were going to be able to control his billions and, you know, make it funds available to the Halliburton Trust, which they renamed something else for like a Hispanic name, Zabata Trust or something like that. So they renamed it that and tried to take control of his oil credits, because this guy was a big oil guy, right? He basically was the grandfather of Indonesian oil. If you know anything about the Iraq War, they went over to Iraq to seize the oil credits in Iraq for Halliburton, the energy company, right? Oil is a form of energy, something that the world uses for energy, right? And Halliburton, being an energy company, needed a lot of oil posts, right? And needed a monopoly on all the places where oil, since it was the primary energy source at the time, would be used, right? This is also the reason why green energy sources haven't been pushed through the world, because if everything goes green, like China and Japan have been trying to do recently, right, with the electric cars and then pushing all that type of stuff, it's and them having better electric cars than Elon Musk that aren't even allowed to be sold in America, that is solely because if that was to happen, right, it would put Halliburton and the money that they make at risk, right? It would put Barack Obama's money at risk, George Bush's money at risk, Dick Cheney's money at risk, the Clintons' money at risk, and Trump's money at risk, and any other president or person that's involved in the Halliburton money scheme, as far as that's concerned. Biden's family, all of them, right? Pelosi, all them people, they're all stakeholders in Halliburton, right? They all get the oil credits and get paid. That's how all these politicians got rich. All of them that are involved in the oil stuff. And they're the ones that have been passing around the ticket since 2003, right? Because that's how they made their money. So that basically connects the dots. And there's a lot of things that are happening as far as currencies are concerned, where they're also going to be getting paid like a double dip off of this stuff, right? Because of the oil money that they have involved. He was born in 35, dies in 87, and his money's been in the wind since then. He was only 52 years old when he was killed. And it took 3 car accidents for them to kill him. They tried to kill him 3 times. One of his kids died in one of the car accidents. So he had 3 children. 2 of them live, which is Barack and the daughter, which Barack isn't his real kid, but he put Barack in the trust because the mom made him do it. And just didn't know that the mom wasn't going to be in the trust. It's a bloodline trust, which the mom can't get in. It goes through the father, so only the kids have access to it. One of the kids are dead, so half of the money, all of the money got split between 2 children, which is Barack and Maya. And Barack got his first cut a couple years ago, which is how, I think like 2017, which is how he ended up with a net worth just for that year, net gross, I should say, of over $500 million. It was because he has a couple billion in this trust that's been sitting around that he wasn't able to touch until he turned a certain age, that Halliburton can't even touch, right? And the country of Indonesia can't touch because of the power that this guy Lolo Soetoro had. He even had an army and everything. So those stories that Trump used to say about Barack having a father that had an army, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't talking about Barack's African daddy. He was talking about Barack's real daddy, right? This Indonesian dude, the guy that raised Barack. He had an army in Indonesia that helped him take over all of the oil in Indonesia. That's how he got his money and became the chief director of this big time Indonesian oil company that once he died, Halliburton became the sole proprietor of, basically, right? So Halliburton kills him. They get control of his company. So now they have control of his oil, even though he's dead and they can't take his money. They could make money off of his money, right? And that's been the plan this whole time. Barack got paid the double dip, though. Barack gets the Halliburton money because of his mom's cut that he now gets because she's dead, right? And he gets the money from his stepdad that Halliburton can't touch. So now he is the head seat in the Halliburton family chair as the richest member, which is why they can't kill him, can't get rid of him, and he's the dark one that they hate, right? Because he's the one with the black man seat in it. To them, all black people are the same, right? They don't give a damn about us being Israelites and crap, which he isn't, so it don't matter. But he's not all the way white. So they don't really like him that much, right? But he's the richest one. So they can't do nothing about it. And he's the one in control. That's why when the Democrats need something, they call upon Barack, right? And he thought he had the power to just step up on stage and be like, hey, it's your duty. It's your duty as black folk, as black men in America,
right,
to vote for this black woman, right? He told us that because he wanted us to believe it, because he thought the power that he has with his family structure in America would, translate to him having power with black people still. But a lot of black people listen to Israelites now, and we've been able to prove through various things, also the internet, since it's all public record, that he ain't really black. Right? He actually has about as much black connection as Kamala Harris has.
Right.
If you want to be real. So he actually probably a little less, because the only first time he was really with black people was Michelle Obama. Every other part of his life was with white people because he never spent time with his dad's family. Right? So Even when he was in office, they told you he just met his brother or whatever on his dad's side for the first time while he was president. You never saw that nigga again because that probably wasn't even his brother on his dad's side. That was just some African they hired, I bet, to try to make black people feel like he was getting in touch with his black side. He don't give a damn about you niggas. Right? Barack is white because that's how he grew up. He's like Drake, right? You see Drake struggling to be black now. He's putting pigtails in his hair and barrettes and stuff because he don't really know how to be black, right? Barack is the same way. It's the same thing. So that's Lolo Sotoro, just to show you guys. Let's get back to this thing so we can close this video out.
Hold that for a minute. Dick Cheney was not flunky to George W. Bush. He had been CEO of Halliburton, but he was CEO of his uncle's corporation. And
so Dick Cheney was put in as vice president to give Bush some power, right? In the Game of Thrones. They all need a little bit of power. They got to have power to make themselves feel powerful, right? Dick Cheney was really the boss. He was really the leader, right? Because he runs the family company. He the CEO. Bush is a part of the, board, but he wasn't running anything. Him, his daddy, or his brother, right? So they were just there. They make him the president to make him feel like he got a little bit of power, so he's not upset, right? But Dick Cheney, the vice president, he was really the one running things. So when people thinking, hey, Bush is stupid, he just sits at home and smokes weed. Well, that wasn't just a rumor. That was the truth. He didn't have to do anything because his cousin was the one really running the country, right? He was the CEO, the one that knew how to run the business, right? They put a businessman like Dick Cheney in office now, Donald Trump, right? That's the role he's going to be playing this time in office, the role of Dick Cheney.
He was also George W. Bush's cousin, and he was George Herbert Walker Bush's cousin, and he was also Barack Obama's cousin. Now, when Barack Obama ran against McCain for president, McCain's vice presidential candidate was also a cousin. So Obama was running against
Sarah Palin. Oh, okie dokie. I can see Russia from my house.
McCain and his cousin for being president. And
she's not that stupid, guys. That was a play. She was playing, right? Kamala was never going to win the presidency. She knew she wasn't. It was a social experiment.
Yep.
Right? This is all a game. It's a play. It's a script. Two sides of the same coin. They're all on the same team. It's one effing family running America. You want to know who the PTB, the powers that be are? Well, damn it, they're right in your face.
That left wing and right wing. It's the left wing and the right wing of the same bird.
Exactly. Left ring, right ring, same bird. They're hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Are beneficiaries of the funds that Halliburton set up. They have a financial interest in the stake of Halliburton. In 2001, when you got that 911 thing, what was going on?
911. He's saying it like that because you don't want to say what it is on the platform, right? But y'all know what 911 is, right? We ain't talking about,
Right.
Pentagon, 911.
Is in 2003, George Herbert Walker Bush, a cousin to everybody involved, said that weapons of mass destruction were in Iraq. What had happened before 911 is Halliburton, the family company, was negotiating with Hussein and the Iraqi government to get the monopoly on oil exploitation in Iraq. Hussein signed a contract with the French and the Russians. So when we kind of prevailed in 2007, Halliburton got the contract without bid to exploit Iraqi oil. And the last I checked, which is...
So when they say the war was about oil, it wasn't about weapons. That's not a conspiracy. That's verifiable.
Right.
Right.
About 10, 12 years ago, Halliburton was netting $2.3 million every 7 hours of the day. And
so they got the monopoly on just Iraq oil, right? They still got American oil that they deal with, right? That's why they live in Texas. Texas is where the big refineries in American oil are from, right? They're right off the Gulf and everything, right? So they got all them refineries over there in Texas, and they going over to Iraq, right? They got some stuff in Venezuela, Indonesia now with Barack, right? And his family ties over there. This is all the money Halliburton's making with the oil, right? Vietnam. And just Halliburton's stake in Iraq was making him $2.3 million every 7 hours. Not counting the rest of their stuff. So you see how this is a money play, right? This is to make them the richest people on the planet. You think it's Elon Musk and all of them. They're not putting their real net worth out. When you go and look up Barack Obama's net worth now, say he's worth like $42 million. But in 2017, before they got the algorithm right, you look it up. One day it say he's worth 12. One day it say he's worth 500 million. Because they couldn't hide all the records yet. Now they have everything hidden. They've got it masked. They got the algorithm how they wanted to have it, right? You got to look up certain things to break it. Most people don't know to look up what to look up, right? To break the algorithm. So when they look it up, it's going to come up whatever answer they want you to see.
Right.
And you're going to be satisfied with that. No, but that nigga said wasn't there. You're not going to keep looking for it. And that's going to be that. So this is what Judge is talking about, right? He did his research.
And that's a lot of money. That's a net, not a gross. And that's what the Bush family enterprise got. If we go back to 1990, what goes on is when Hussein invades Kuwait, he nationalizes everything, and incorporated in Kuwait is Zapata Offshore Oil, Inc., which is a holding company for all of the Bush and Walker family enterprises. They were effectively broke. So when we prevailed in Gulf War I.
You said what?
No, I was agreeing.
Oh, I thought you said something. Oh,
the Bush and Walker family were not broke. Now, let's go back to Barry Soetoro's stepfather, Lolo Soetoro, which isn't his real name.
So Barry Soetoro, for those of y'all not following, that's Barack Obama. His name is not Barack Obama. His name is Barry Soetoro.
Right.
Okay? Barack Obama is the name that he changed it to just for the presidency. If he's walking down the street and you call that nigga Barack, he might not even turn around at you because nobody in his family calls him Barack. He don't get called that at home with Michelle. They call his ass Barry. Okay?
Lolo Soetoro had been international executive vice president for Standard Oil. He had also run the death squads for the Indonesian government, caught up with what wound up happening in an attempted coup that went on from 1958 to 1961. It seemed.
So he had the death squads, the deadliest Indonesian warriors in the little army that would go around terrorizing people, right? His daddy was in control of them people. And he used them to take control of all of the oil mines in Indonesia. He said, instead of just having y'all kill folk for this coup, y'all can keep the presidency and the government. I just want the money. And that's what he decided to take, the money. And once Halliburton found out he had the money, right? Because Halliburton's made in 1946. The Jewish people get moved over in 1948. They're right in the middle of the conflict, right next to Iraq and everything, which you best believe that's part of it. Balfour Agreement wasn't just to move the Jewish people over there. It was to help them with the money because there's Jewish people involved in this Halliburton thing too, right? And they have their own companies that are able to do the same thing as Halliburton, right? It ain't just Halliburton, but there's other companies do the same thing, like Barack's Indonesian oil company, right? There's Jewish people that are in the same monopoly with their own Jewish companies that are taking oil from Ishmael. That's why Ishmael don't like them. Ishmael had a monopoly on Ishmael's oil, right? Really, it's our oil that Ishmael holding for us. But Abraham promised Ishmael 12 princes, and Ishmael's 12 princes ain't getting to keep their share of all their oil that's supposed to make them the 12 princes that they're supposed to be, right? Esau's jugging it, and he's jugging it primarily through the company called Halliburton, and the company in any of their Asian contacts, right? Like Japan, the biggest, or China, their biggest fields of oil that they have in that region are coming from Vietnam and Indonesia, which Halliburton still has stake in that because Barack is the one that owns that stuff, and his daddy married the girl who was the niece of the man who started Halliburton. So it's all one family monopoly. You see?
Yep.
That's why they hate them so damn much. Y'all don't read though, so y'all don't know this information.
That The Hague had an indictment against Lolo Soetoro for crimes against humanity for killing 500,000 people that U.S. prevented from being served on him because at the time in question.
Yeah, that's a good. There you go. IPAC.
APAC.
Yeah, APAC.
Yep.
Lolo Soetoro was subcontracting with the CIA to operate the intelligence services in North Vietnam, North Korea, Cambodia, Laos, and in the people